Hello, good people. Welcome back to the Kuhb Games YouTube channel. It is Friday here on PACMAN week, and we are almost done with the week, unfortunately. It is coming to a close, but I wanted to bring a list that is at least somewhat close to what I would play if I was going to be taking PACMAN to a tournament today. I've put a lot of time and effort into testing out different PACMAN lists, different ideas, bringing in some far-fetched card choices, to revisiting cards that have been played in the deck in the past to see if they were underestimated, something like that. So PACMAN has been one of my babies for a while, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do PACMAN Week. I really enjoy it. I've put a lot of time and effort into it. I just kind of want to give it a little bit of a spotlight. This is somewhat close to the list that I played in GGP Livonia. That's been a few months ago now. I think a lot of the things still hold true a little bit. I've made some changes, and I don't think this is just like a hard, you have to play this 55 cards, anything like that. I definitely think there's still room for improvement and other ideas to test out, but this is pretty close to what I would play. Going to go into a little bit of the reasonings and the card choices here before we get into the matches. So 3 Deslakuta have to play, 3 Swarm of Scarabs have to play. I have actually wanted more interaction with the monsters from my testing, so I'm actually opting to play 1 copy of Medusa Worm as well. 3 copies of Golem Sentry to go along with that. Really just punish your opponent for setting monsters or only being able to play 1 monster per turn. This is how you win a lot of your games, just with these monsters here. I think 3 Golem Sentry, 3 Swarm of Scarabs, very important. And then you can play the Medusa Worm if you like, and I do like it. So playing the Medusa Worm. I like Stealth Bird a lot. I've played 2 in the past. I wouldn't go to 3. And I prefer to just play it at 1 because it really only performs 1 function, and that is to deal a bunch of damage. I do think that helps speed up your clock, and it helps with the deck's biggest downside, which is giving your opponent an inevitability to draw to like their BLS, their Heavy Storm, stuff like that. Because traditional PACMAN decks just take so long to kill your opponent. Stealth Bird helps out with that, but this is like the only burn card in the deck that only serves 1 purpose. So I don't want to play too many of those. I just want to have 1 to sort of supplement the strategy a little bit. Obligatory Sangan has to be played in every deck. You can definitely play a Morphing Jar in this deck. You could play more Medusa Worms and stuff like that. I wouldn't recommend playing Swarm of Locusts. I think that card's actually just not good. But you do need to play the Sangan. I do like Morphing Jar. I don't like Cyber Jar in the deck. But those are definitely some other options. I am only playing 12 monsters, and I think that's totally fine. You don't need a whole lot of monsters to win the game here. We play all 3 cards of Trinity, of course. 2 Elab, 2 Nox, swords, 2 Book of Moon. I love this card a lot. This functions in a lot of different ways. Very versatile in this deck. It helps you out with level 2, Thousand Eyes Restrict, which are very, very difficult monsters to deal with this deck. So Book of Moon is good there. It also just serves as just like kind of spot removal. It's just kind of spot protection, I guess, for some of your monsters if you really need it. It is a minus if you use it that way, but a lot of times you're protecting like a Deslakuta, Swarm of Scarabs, and you're just going to get that plus back. So Book of Moon just gives you a turn to be able to set up your plays, protect your monsters and stuff like that. So Book of Moon, very versatile, very good card. Also gets under Decree. So I like to play double Book of Moon. I wouldn't fault anybody for playing 3, but I think in most competitive PACMAN lists, you probably need to play at least 1 in your main. I've opted for 2 here. Wave Motion Cannon, another card that I'm super high on for several reasons. Been a big proponent of this in PACMAN for a while. Not only does it sit on the field and, produce quite a fast clock, basically dealing 1,000 points of damage each turn by the time you sacrifice it, but it also is a lightning rod for MST, Dust Tornado, something like that. A lot of times the opponents think they need to deal with this or they have to deal with it if it's going to kill them. And that can draw attention away from your level limit area Bs, your gravity binds, stuff like that. So sometimes this is just a lightning rod. You don't even need it around and you kind of want your opponent to kill it and they might interact with it. And that's a good thing. So big fan of Wave Motion Cannon, especially in decks that want to go long, like PACMAN. The value increases exponentially the longer that your deck wants to play their games. All right, and for traps, we have 2 copies of Gravity Bind, 3 copies of Nightmare Wheel. This goes along with what I was saying with Stealth Bird. It's a trap, or it's a burn card that doesn't just deal burn damage. It naturally fits in the deck. It's not a force thing. It does other things while also just providing chip damage. I didn't see a lot of people playing this whenever I first added it to the deck, and I was like, hold on. This protects your monsters while also just dealing little bits of chip damage? And that's where I actually started with incorporating the burn cards like Wave Motion Cannon and Stealth Bird into the deck. I just found out that Nightmare Wheel was such a natural, good inclusion that I just started adding more and more onto that. And it's kind of grown into this build that I've got here today. So Nightmare Wheel was kind of the start of this build of Pac-Man, so I owe a lot to it. But just finding this card and adding it to the deck and finding its uses was very, very big for this deck. And I think this deck should absolutely just play 3 copies of Nightmare Wheel in it. This card is very good. Next up, we have 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. I opt to play a Magic Jammer as well. You can play a lot of cards in this slot. You can play Spell Shield Type 8, Judgment of Anubis, Curse of Royal, whatever. If you're a trap heavy build, you can play Fake Trap, stuff like that. I like Magic Jammer's versatility. It is a discard card, so it is a minus, but you're playing Des Lakuta, and that's one of the cards that you really look to get to and maximize in each game. So Magic Jammer's -1 isn't felt quite as much. And obviously Magic Jammer is not a very good card generally in GOAT format, but I like to have 1 extra card just to protect from Heavy Storm and the likes. 1 Ring of Destruction, 1 Mirror Force, no Torrential. Torrential's really bad in this deck. You do not want to play that card at all. 2 copies of Compulse. Basically, my split here is 2 Compulse, 2 Book of Moon. You can manipulate this number however you want, but I like it. Compulse is actually a pretty versatile card. Once again, it acts as just like a blanket protection card if you really need to do it. It's just like Book of Moon. It's a -1 if you need to do that, but it can protect your monster if that's really, really what you need it to do. It also protects your monster from knock. So instead of trading one of your 12 monsters, all of which are very important to the deck, you get to trade your kind of useless trap card for knock. So helps in that way. Also deals with Thousand Eyes Restrict. Very good there, and can help with level 2 in a pinch if you really need to. Big fan of Compulse in this deck. You could play 1. Wouldn't fault you for that. I wouldn't play 3, I don't think. Not enough decks that it can really punish for me to want to go up to 3. I would go up to 3 Book of Moons before a 3rd Compulse, but I do like Compulse in the deck, so I'm playing 2 right now. 1 copy of Ceasefire, really good against knock, deals extra burn damage, stops flip effects, good versatile card. 1 Magic Cylinder, also fits into the deck naturally, just like Nightmare Wheel. Stops attacks, deals burn damage. Probably the worst card in the deck, but it's good enough. I like it. It's a secret rare. It's pretty. I'm playing Magic Cylinder in my deck. Fight me. And then 1 copy of Call of the Haunted. My dueling book went down there. Instead of redoing all of that talking for, what is it, almost 10 minutes, something like that, we've got 1 Call of the Haunted. I can't remember the name of who recommended this to me, but someone in the GOAT format Discord recommended playing Call of the Haunted, and it made a whole lot of sense. So I found room for 1 copy of it. It's really good. Basically, like sometimes your opponent can kill one of your Pac-Man monsters, say they were able to MS tier your only gravity bind or level limit or something that was protecting. They attack over your monster. On the end step, you can Call the Haunted it back, and you get some value out of it. This card's been very good for me, so I've opted to include it as well. For the side, we have Breaker. Basically just good against Decree decks. You can bring it in against Burn. But it's almost entirely in here for Decree and stall decks. Jowgen is basically in here for RGT. Very, very good card in the matchup. Really, really happy with this. It's good to stop RGT from getting started. Also can take out their monsters if they've already gotten on the board. And that is especially useful against Jinzo. MST almost specifically for Royal Decree decks as well. We do have the 3rd copy of Book of Moon. Double Snare, obviously Jinzo and Decree decks. 2 copies of Mind Control. I've been kind of flip-flopping on what cards that I use against Turbo. Mind Control seems really good here. Taking their Moth is really, really good. So they can't just, recur their Graceful Charity, try to dig to Heavy Storm, recur Heavy Storm, God forbid, any of that. So Mind Control has been pretty solid for me. You can change a lot of these slots. Mind Control is definitely one of those slots that I think is up for debate. 1 copy of Curse of Royal. Don't take this one out. Curse of Royal is awesome in pretty much every single matchup. People are going to be siding in Dust Tornadoes, Raigeki Breaks, stuff like that. Curse of Royal takes care of that. It also takes care of Solemn Judgment, because Solemn Judgment destroys. So if they use a Solemn Judgment on one of your spell or traps, Curse of Royal can negate it for free. Divine Wrath is another card that I've been very high on in this deck. Basically, this is really good against Turbo. And if you have room, you can bring it in against Warriors as well. It stops level 2, it stops BLS, it stops Thousand Eyes Restrict. Magician of Faith, just really, I mean, anything, obviously, that activates an effect. Divine Wrath, I think, is really good, and I think it's actually just underrated in the format as a whole. Would definitely recommend playing Divine Wrath. 1 copy of Wall of Revealing Light, just an extra floodgate to have. I really like this against the Mystic Swordsman level 2 decks. A lot of times you can just pay 1 or 2,000, and Wall of Revealing Light is just going to tell your opponent you're never attacking again. Sorry. And it's just an extra card against those decks that I like to bring in. So 1 copy of Wall of Revealing Light, 2 copies of Needle Sealing. This card, of course, has been a known entity in Pac-Man for a while. Needle Sealing's very, very good since all of your monsters just always stay down. A lot of times it's just a one-sided board wipe. Really good against burn, good against all the scapegoat decks. If you have room and you feel like you need to bring in more stuff against the aggro decks, Needle Sealing is also okay, but it's not the first card that I bring in there. And then we're finishing off with 3 copies of Solemn Wishes. This has been my favorite card in the deck for burn. A lot of times you're just going to gain 2,000-3,000 life points if you sit this on the board turn 1 or 2. Not only are you drawing from your draw step, but you're also drawing from Des Lakuta, Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity. This card can really add up quickly. And since you're playing a long game against burn, the incremental life gain over and over and over and over really adds up, and it's really good. So that's the one that I recommend. I don't think Mystic Walk or anything like that is really good against burn. Maybe you can play Barrel Behind the Door, especially if you're playing, all of these burn cards anyway, but I generally opt for Solemn Wishes. I've been pretty happy with it, but that's the deck. Let's get into some matches. All right, we're here with the first match. It feels kind of weird to not have like any real gimmicky stuff in the deck, just playing straight up Pac-Man, but it's pretty good. I've always loved this deck. It's always been one of my favorites. Clearly if I'm going to do a whole week of it on the channel, it's going to be something that I like. So, and I've featured it many times on the channel. I think it wasn't the first Meme Deck Monday, but it was a very early Meme Deck Monday before Meme Deck Monday just kind of completely went off the rails. We started going deep. I think it was with Final Countdown? I can't remember, but here we are. Our Golem Sentry is dying, but that's okay. We've got a Wave Motion Cannon, Solemn Judgment, and a Nightmare Wheel, and we can follow up with this Des Lakuta. Not going to set the knock, because if I'm seeing Sakuretsu in the main, yeah, immediately punished. I could Solemn Judgment that. I'm going to. It's not often that I Solemn a duo, but I think I'm here for it. I think I just automatically lose the game if I don't do that. Whereas here, now especially since the opponent doesn't have a monster, I get to throw down my own duo, and then I get to set Lakuta. All right, we get rid of Knock and Sork. Okay, pretty happy about that. Set Lakuta. Now that there's a whole bunch of back row and I really need the Nightmare Wheel to survive if my opponent has a monster, I will set the Knock just in case they have like an MST over there and they want to blind MST or something. Okay. Another Wave Motion Cannon is very good. Flip Lakuta. Get ourselves a draw here. Gravity Bind, okay. I don't hate that. I'm just going to reset Lakuta. I don't feel the need to attack in with it, especially seeing that the opponent has Sakuretsu armor. I'll play Wave Motion Cannon. I'll set the Gravity Bind. If the opponent draws Heavy Storm, good for them. So be it. Yeah, Kaiku is fine. Hit that up with a Gravity Bind. All right. Sangan, okay. I accept. Put some counters on these Wave Motion Cannons, which 4 and 2, they're almost lethal next turn. Let's flip Lakuta. I guess I could have actually Nightmare Wheeled the Kaiku, but I don't think that's really the play here. All right, set Lakuta, set Sangan, and I'll just pass the turn. Graceful Charity, yeah, that's a good one off the top. Can you find the Heavy Storm? I would love for you to not find Heavy Storm here. That would that would be ideal in my mind. Yep, discarding Book of Moon. That card seems very poor here. And BLS gone as well. Okay, Sangan. That's why we keep the Nightmare Wheel around. So now we can just Nightmare Will the Sangam. Let's go. All right. We got the first game. It looks like some weird chaos deck. Because we're playing Kaiku. There's clearly chaos. There's Chaos Sorcerer and BLS. We're playing Kaiku, Spirit Reaper, Sakuretsu in the main. So I didn't really see anything that I want to mind control. I guess I can bring in Curse of Royal. I'll bring in Divine Wrath because I just, I like Curse of Royal a lot. I like Divine Wrath against the BLS decks of the world. So here I think I don't like Book of Moon all that much. So maybe we just cut the Book of Moons, call it a day. I don't hate that. If we see more that we want the mind control for, then we can bring those back in. If we see that it's Chaos Warriors and they're playing like level 2 and stuff, we can bring the Book of Moons back in and maybe the Wall of Revealing Light. But for now, I think this is okay. See if we can run back that game 1. Good hand, please. Oh, Solemn Judgment. Oh yeah, this hand's great. Love to see this. Always a good sign when you have a Floodgate with a Solemn Judgment. And we can just kind of pick off this tribe. Alright, so we'll start on level limit. Change that tribe to defensive position. Set Solemn Judgment, set Ring, and I'm going to lead on Golem Sentry, I believe. Stealth Bird is pretty good in these matchups. So is Golem Sentry, to be fair, but I like to lead on Golem Sentry, especially if my opponent has shown Kaiku. They can just kind of wall up anything. Oh, Mind Control? Sure. That's fine. Have a Golem Sentry. That's another reason why you don't set Lakuta first. Mind Control is good against PACMAN, but I don't think you're supposed to throw it off this early. Gib unto me, Golem Sentry. Why did we put it there? I don't want it there. So I'm not going to leave it there. Easy fix. All right, let's start off by flipping Golem Sentry. We'll just send this face down back. Opponent knows the technology? That's incredible. Divine Wrath needs to be played more in GOAT format. The card's actually not bad. I'm going to Solemn Judgment there. I know that is very aggressive. But if the opponent is willing to go to those lengths to protect that, I think it's probably worth Solemn Judgmenting. And just being able to keep my Golem Sentry, you cannot switch the position at. Okay, they have MST. Sure, I guess that works. Yeah, if my opponent is willing to go to those lengths, and me being able to just keep my my tempo game here, I think is very, very good for me. And we'll just take care of the tribe here, which means we're likely going to be able to get a Lakuta flip here. Oh, nothing from the opponent. Love it. And a Nightmare Wheel. Okay. I approve. Let's flip up Does Lakuta. We are at 2,900, so we do have to be at least a little careful because our opponent does have Ring, but they're not close to slamming a BLS or something, and we're actually close to killing them. They take, yeah, 2,000 from our attacks here, and then yeah, they're just dead next turn, actually. With the Wave Motion Cannon plus Stealth Bird flip plus attacks. Not to mention Pot of Greed's a good draw off the top there. No heavy? Let's go. That was a pretty short one. But able to take down a Chaos deck. All right. Feeling good to be back on the main PACMAN build. Let's get another one. All right, we're here with the second match. Clearly playing against Jennifer Lawrence herself over here. J-Law 182. That last match is a very good example of PACMAN's high highs. Sometimes you get those matches where you're just like in control the entire time and it feels like your opponent can't do anything. And it feels really good. And then other times, you get the lows of PACMAN, but we're not going to have any of those right here, right? Right? We're just going to win this match. Run back the first one, do it in 8 minutes. I think that might be actually the fastest full match of PACMAN that I've ever played. So that was pretty cool. Opponent discarding Book of Moons makes a lot of sense to me. I opted to just play Wave Motion Cannon and Compulse. Ooh, we might be in for a good one here. Armed Dragon level 5. Okay. Let's put a counter on this Wave Motion Cannon. Flip up our boy. The Door Boy, the Golem Sentry. Bounce our opponent's monster back to their hand. And let's try to get in there for 800. All right, awesome. So let's reset, and I'm just going to set Lakuta now, I think. I still feel safe behind this Compulse, so I'm not going to... Yeah, I'm going to keep not overextending here. I don't want to get hit too hard by Heavy Storm if it happens to come. I need to play Armed Dragon on the channel at some point. Just Compulse this Breaker back. Not the best Compulse target in the world, but, you know, it does ensure that everything is saved for a turn, at least. Ooh. Now I've got a chance to hit it with Duo? Okay. I like that, and I think I'm just going to lead on Duo. See if this works out. If there's any justice in the world, we'll draw a Solemn Judgment off of this Lakuta. Spy and Dark Factory of Mass Production? What normals are we running in here? Hello? Okay. Flip up Lakuta. Get ourselves an extra draw here. There is justice in the world. You love to see it. I'm going to reset Lakuta, and I'm going to flip up Golem Sentry to attack with. It gets in for more damage, and I would like to save my Lakuta from like a Mirror Force or something here. So let's just reset, give the hand a good shuffle, play out the level limit, and set these two. And, well, I meant to set my Swarm of Scarabs, but got a little ahead of myself there and click in turn. Sorry about that. Yeah, Breaker's fine. Oh, we're going after Wave Motion? Okay, that's fine with me. What's not fine with me is I didn't set the Swarm of Scarabs, and so now I can't deal with a Breaker this turn, so it is going to cost me getting in for a little bit of damage, but that's okay. Sometimes we make mistakes out here, right? Flip Lakuta, get ourselves a draw. Gravity Bind's not awful, but just reset Lakuta, set Swarm of Scarabs, set the Gravity Bind, pass the turn. I don't want to Golem Sentry the Breaker. I think it's pretty obvious why I don't want to do that. See what the opponent has for us here. They have dug a little bit with Jar of Greeds. I'm still interested in what this Dark Factory is for. It's kind of wild. Okay, we see a back row from the opponent and a face down monster. Okay. Another Solemn Judgment is excellent. We're just going to continue to flip up Lakuta. Okay, it's going to get ringed. That's fine. Take 500, no big deal. We'll get our draw here. Flip Golem Sentry. Send this back to your hand. Set Golem Sentry. Flip Swarm. And we will take care of the Breaker. Alright. And then we'll just get in there with Swarm. If it dies, it dies. I'm not too worried about it. And Lakuta, I think, already did its damage. So even though it's gone, it's not the end of the world. Reset Scarabs, and we'll set our other Solemn Judgment. Seems good to me. All right, we'll see if the opponent can break through this. I think this is a pretty fantastic start. No play at all. Oh, Wave Motion Cannon. Now I kind of wish I hadn't set that Solemn Judgment. Or this Gravity Bind. But no, it's totally fine here. Now I want to get the game over with. So I'm just going to flip up the boys. I'm going to summon Medusa Worm too. And I have like double Solemn Judgment, so I don't mind. Ew. Goats? Okay, well. We're able to clear all the goats, so like I'm not going to Solemn Judgment that. Okay, main phase 2. Get rid of the other one. I got to reset Dueling Book. All right, we are back. Sometimes Dueling Book doesn't let me click on things. Love that. Quality program. But it brings me much joy, so I'm not going to make fun of it too much. What else you got, opponent? Just one back row? Okay. Oh, we drew Lakuta? Alright. Well, let's summon out our little camel friend. And we will begin flipping everything. This is an attack for 2,000? That's not bad. We get a 3-turn clock here. Another scapegoat. Okay. Attack all the goats. And pass. So this is an interesting deck. We see Arm Dragon level 5. We see double scapegoat and this Dark Factory of mass production. I have no idea what it's doing. What are we knocking? The Golem Sentry? Okay. That's weird. That's the one that can't attack, and it's the one that sends stuff back to hand instead of destroying. But, alright. I guess Armed Dragon level 3 can actually, like, attack over things. I'm just going to Mirror Force it. I want my clock to be as good as possible. And this also opens up a spot on the field for Wave Motion Cannon. Alright, I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible. I guess we get a Lakuta effect. Alright. Let's activate Wave Motion Cannon. I'm not even going to set the Golem Sentry. I don't think. No reason to. Yeah, let's just pass the turn. I'd rather it be like, if I draw another, another Pac-Man monster that's not Golem Sentry, I would be able to attack for lethal with the Wave Motion Cannon. So, okay. So we know, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on over there, honestly. I'm just going to bring in Wall of Revealing Light. We saw Scapegoat, so I guess we'll bring in Needle Sealing and Divine Wrath and Book of Moon. That makes sense to me. Try to fight against the Thousand Eyes Restrict. Maybe we don't want Gravity Bind? I don't know. This is kind of weird, right? Probably Magic Cylinder. We can cut the Call. And I'll just cut a Wave Motion Cannon. We'll call that good. I have no idea what we're playing against. Like, from what I saw, Gravity Bind seemed decent, but also, like, with the Scapegoat stuff, I don't know. We're still bringing in some things to add protection. So it's not like we're just cutting all of our protection and not having any in the deck. All right, opponent leads on Armed Dragon level 3. We're not able to kill that. But that's fine. I get to lead on Delinquent Duo. And let's take this card here. Tsukiyomi, okay. And Book of Moon. Okay, 2 cards that aren't great against Pac-Man. So fine with that. Just set everything and pass here. Yep, go get your level 5. It's fine. I'll compulse it. No big deal. Or I could just Wall of Revealing Light. Yeah, I'll compulse my Sangan. Save it from the knock. And then I'm just going to flip up Wall here, pay 3,000. Wise person on the Discord once described this card as the, yes, the I'll pay 3,000 life points for you to fuck off card. And that is incredibly accurate. All right, let's put a counter on our Wave Motion. I'll set Sangan and I'll set Needle Sealing. Maybe we'll be able to activate Needle Sealing soon. Say our opponent flips this monster up, they summon another monster. Another knock? Okay. That's fine. We lose our Sangan, no big deal. Oh, Spy? Okay. Sure. Just getting me closer to Needle Sealing here. I don't think we've activated this entire week. None of those can attack. Okay. Put a counter on the Wave Motion. Set our Swarm of Scarabs. Pass the turn. Needle Sealing's on. Hello. Any more monsters, opponent? Any more monsters? Yes. All right. Sweet. I want to activate it so bad. I guess I can just let my opponent get another level 5 out of the deck though, right? Yeah. It's so greedy. I'm going to take the greedy line. I'm going to pass the turn. Let him get another level 5. Yep, you got it. And the next turn, whatever I draw, I can just set this Magic Jammer and have that as protection against Heavy Storm and whatever as well. Okay, no other monster. Unfortunate. Okay. So I'm just going to set Judgment over Magic Jammer, I guess. And you know what? I'm just going to keep passing the turn. I want a full needle ceiling here. Breaker. I'm gonna needle ceiling. No. Prio is to put the counter on. Chaining the needle ceiling to the adding of the counter. The opponent loses everything. Goodbye. Goodbye, all of your monsters. It was nice knowing you all. We got a full needle ceiling activation to kill 5 monsters. Oh, man. All right, wave motion up to 5. Can we get wave motion up to 8? I don't know. I'm just going to flip up Scarabs, I guess. We'll help out the wave motion cannon a little bit. Oh, Scapegoat? That's fine. I guess we won't help out the wave motion cannon. It's just going to do it all on its own. But, I mean, it's probably going to get there. We have double Solemn Judgment plus Magic Jammer. I think we are probably good to take this one. This is fine. You can have a level 5. I don't really care about that. Cool. And a set monster. Okay. Well, the set monster is about to go bye-bye. And wave motion cannon is going to be lethal in 2 turns. Dekoichi. All right, see ya. Reset Scarabs, pass the turn. If we get to do a full needle ceiling plus a full wave motion cannon in this duel, oh man. This is the dream. Flip Scarabs. I'm just like not killing the goats. You know, may as well leave the opponent's field clogged. And I'm just on ride this wave motion to victory. I have Solemn Judgment, Magic Jammer. Yeah, no. Magic Jammer that. You don't get to do that. Sorry, opponent. Yes. Okay, we didn't actually get to sacrifice the wave motion cannon, but you know, we were going to get a full wave motion cannon for 8,000 here. You know what? Let's just go ahead and send it to the grave. Act like we did it. So we were able to full needle ceiling to kill 5 entire monsters, plus kill our opponent with a wave motion cannon that just stuck for 8 turns. Love it. And we got to see Armed Dragon. I still have no idea what the Dark Factory of Mass Production was doing in here, but you know, cool. And let me see. We're actually at a short video right now. Since this is going to be the last video that's actually matches played, let's get a third. I'll give you all a treat. So we'll be back for the third one. All right, we are here with the third match. It's a different day, so I got a different shirt on. I have a more comfortable chair. There's a keyboard behind me now. Mom pretty much takes every chance that she can to move things around here, so I'm sure there's all kinds of new stuff. Like, I don't think this picture back here was behind me before, so maybe we can make that like a running meme on the channel. As long as I'm here, things just, you know, popping up randomly in the background. Ooh, all of this is good. I think I'm just going to get rid of Knock, and I want to keep the wave motion. Just get rid of Gravity Bind. I think that's fine. We have level limit. Hopefully that'll do the trick. And I'm gonna set Swarm of Scarabs, of course, because we always want to protect our Lakuta. Let's see if we can finish this off with a good W to finish Pac-Man week. Upstart Goblin from the opponent. A whole bunch of back row. All of the back row. Okay, cool. All right, so we get a counter on our wave motion cannon. I I think I will flip up the Swarm of Scarabs. It makes our Wave Motion Cannon clock a little faster, and, you know, it's not really that consequential to lose it here if the opponent does have some sort of battle trap. But I was going to say, I imagine, especially since they don't have a monster, there's a likelihood that they're just going to let it go. I'm going to set Stealth Bird now, because if the opponent's not going to pressure us at all, we may as well pressure them if we can, and we can get this Lakuta down in a future turn. I'm totally fine with this, I think. Oh, second Solemn Judgment. That is excellent. Excelente. Flip up Stealth Bird first. I actually don't want to attack with the Stealth Bird. It's putting in a lot of damage here to go along with the Wave Motion Cannon, so I'm just going to flip up the Scarabs again and attack with it. I think it's important to play around battle traps and stuff as well as you can with your Pac-Man monsters. A lot of people think you just need to flip them up like consistently and attack with them all the time, but I don't really think that's a great line. A lot of the times you have to be very conscious of what your opponent may have and actually preserving your cards, because the way that you win is basically through card advantage. It's not through battle. A Graceful Charity I will allow. I don't know if what I said just made sense, but made sense in my mind. Okay. See, a Call and a Snatch Steal go away. That makes a whole lot of sense to me. Hopefully the opponent just has like a Metamorphosis or something. We're able to compulse the Thousand Eyes Restrict back to the Shadow Realm. We're also not far off from just winning. With this Stealth Bird and Wave Motion ticking up with 2 copies of Solemn Judgment, we could easily steal the game with a Wave Motion here. Swords of Revealing Light, that's fine. So the opponent chose to get rid of the Snatch Steal. Interesting. I guess they don't have any room, right? They wouldn't be able to Snatch Steal the stuff. Ring of Destruction. Target. Yeah, you gotta think about it. The Stealth Bird normally is like the weakest one, but it's actually kind of threatening here. But, you know, Lakuta's Lakuta. So if they let me keep that, it could be bad news for them, but we'll see. I don't think I'm going to compulse it, actually. I think I'm going to let the Lakuta go. Obviously, Lakuta is powerful, but I want to save the compulse for... Ooh. I'm going to Judgment that, I think. I want to save the compulse for a potential Metamorphosis play here. Reckless Greed. Okay, so this is RGT. I was going to say, this looks like it could be RGT still. Reckless Greed says it probably is, but the opponent doesn't get to draw for 2 draw steps, so if they don't have another Giant Trunade or a Heavy Storm here, this Solemn Judgment could be looking to do work in other places other than Heavy Storm Giant Trunade. So let's do this first. We will set the Stealth Bird. Flip the Stealth Bird. This goes to attack, of course. A 3 on Wave Motion Cannon. I'm going to check the log just to make sure I put it on this turn. Yeah, okay. Thought I did, but started to question myself. So let's set the Swarm of Scarabs, flip it up, and I'm going to take out the set monster. Is it a crane or something? Yeah, that makes sense. Do I want to set Cylinder? Is there a reason to? I don't want to attack into Mirror Force. I don't think there's a reason to do that. Yeah, I can just save the Solemn Judgment for like literally anything else, right? Yeah, I'm not going to clog things up. I'm just going to keep the Cylinder in hand. The opponent doesn't get to draw here. So I don't think they have a monster that's going to be able to attack anyway. And if they do, like, we can compulse whatever. Oh, they have a Jar of Greed. Okay. That'll dig for an extra card. Reasoning. Do I call 8? I don't care about Genzo, right? I'm just going to call 8. Though if they have blowback, they probably don't have blowback since they're not the they're not Machine Gate. So I'm going to call 8 because I think, yeah, Demok is the card that I don't want to see the most here because of Giant Trunade. So that's cool. They do have Dark Light in the graveyard now, though. So if that's a BLS in hand, then that's something we're going to have to take care of. But we do have Solemn Judgment for that. And the opponent has to go one more turn without drawing. So, ooh, and we draw a Pot of Greed. Okay, and they're just going to concede. Okay, I don't think that was premature at all. They would have gotten to see one more card off the top of their deck, but we're going to bring in Breaker, MST, Double Snare, Jowgen. Book of Moon is fine in this matchup as well. So is Divine Wrath. Needle Ceilings are good. We've got a bunch of cards that are just good against RGT, though I guess Curse of Royals actually kind of not. So what do we not want here? Knock is very poor. We can probably just cut the call. Ceasefire, I think, can go out. They're not really a knock deck. Wave Motion Cannon is not ideal here. We can cut Stealth Bird. And I like everything else. So maybe we just don't bring in the third Book of Moon. And we could cut a Nightmare Wheel. I don't hate that. I think Book of Moon is good against Jinzo to help out there. So I think we can shave a Nightmare Wheel. Seems fine to me. See if we can pick up this game 2. Now that we have Jowgen in the deck, I do like... I love my matchup post-board in this matchup. I like it pre-board too. But after we get to side-in cards, I think it's just pretty excellent. So, but you know, RGT has those hands where it's just like, sorry, you're not going to win the game. And hopefully we can avoid that for two games here. Okay, starting off with an upstart. And nothing, all right. Okay, well, we love Pot of Greed. Any judgments? Ooh. Oh. Never mind, we don't need judgments where we're going. We're just drawing Trinity. Thanks for the 1,000 life points, opponent. Duo, let's hit this card for a change. Monster Gate, okay. And discarding Demock. We don't really like to see that, but... that's fine. Here, so these can attack under level limit, so I think I'm going to prioritize those over Golem Sentry. So let's just get rid of the Golem Sentry. Get rid of swords? Yeah, let's get rid of swords. We'll just keep all of the protection in the world. So let's just set Medusa Worm. And set everything else, and pass the turn. Don't think we need the swords, really. Level limit and Gravity Bind are already kind of iffy. What can they get back? They can get back a Monster Gate. Upstart. Do I Jammer this? I'm going to let this go. It's kind of weird. I'm going to save my Magic Jammer for like a future. So like if they Monster Gate here, I probably let that go too. Yeah. Yeah, I'll let the Monster Gate go as well, just because I have so much to... Oh, Trunade? Well, now I just compulse the Demock back to hand, right? They get their Prima back. No, they don't get their Prima back. All right. Send the Demock back to hand. So now they can't Monster Gate it. Okay, yep. And nothing else. Oh, we draw Lakuta? Okay, well, I really like my position now. Let's just get in there. I think we just, like... It kind of makes sense to Magic Jammer the Prima there, but, like, we just had so much to fight back against the Demock hitting the board that I just didn't think it was necessary. And now, like, we get to keep our Magic Jammer for a potential heavy storm or something, and we got the opponent to waste a giant Trunade. So, yeah, I love where things are going right now. Needle Ceiling is excellent here. This might be a scapegoat. So let's flip up Lakuta. And we actually just like got really good value out of the Compulse, right? That's pretty sweet. Do I want to attack with both? Yeah, I don't care if they have Mirror Force. I'll just flip down my Lakuta and lose the Medusa Worm. And I think it's quite important against RGT to get a clock going. So let's just set. I'm going to set Needle Ceiling, and I guess I could set Book of Moon. Swarm does help with the clock a little bit. Let's just set Swarm of Scarabs. We'll leave the Book of Moon in hand for Magic Jammer, and like any monster that they summon now turns on Needle Ceiling, which is pretty nice. Royal Decree. Yeah. Okay. That's one of the downsides of Magic Jammer, for sure. But still, like, any monster that they go into, level limit's going to take care of it. Which, I mean, yeah, they're going to go into Cannon Soldier. They can summon it, monster gate it off. Yeah, this is all fine. The creator? Oh no. Alright. I guess it's not really that big of a deal, right? They can end up getting their Demock back, though. That's pretty bad. Yeah, so they discard Demock. They have to get back Cannon Soldier here. But, I mean, if they draw another monster, they can get back their Demock. That's pretty strong. Okay. Oh, no. We have Medusa Worm and Swarm of Scarabs. Never mind. never mind. We're fine. Let's flip up Deslocuta. I was thinking a little too far ahead here. Flip up Medusa Worm, get rid of the creator, and Scarabs, get rid of Cannon Soldier, and we get to attack in for 2,000 here. And now we have double Lakuta, and we have, importantly, 2 monsters that can take out a Chaos Monster. So if they summon a BLS and they can only take out one of these. I think we might get there even through the decree. I'm going to set this Book of Moon just in case we need it, because it is really our only line of defense other than level limit. What we're hoping for is no Trunade or Heavy Storm plus BLS. Let's go. All right, we beat Royal Decree. We dismantled RGT, which I think is the only RGT that I've recorded so far for this entire week. But yeah, pretty cool. We got 3 whole wins in this video. You absolutely love to see it. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back with the next one.